Let's talk about English tests and potential English tests for anyone who comes to the country. Interesting suggestion, a great discussion David Spears had about this afternoon, which is it's fine to say that the English test should apply for, say, the doctor who's going to be here because they're the ones that'll be doing the job, but should it be the case for the family members that come as well? I would say yes, but here's what the Prime Minister had to say about a potential universal new English standard for anyone new to the country.
But everyone should recognise that we all have a vested interest in being able to converse and engage in our national language. So we don't make any, there's no need for any apologies for saying this. It's perfectly obvious.
Claire, we'll start with you. How do you feel about standardised English test, and where should that level be for anyone who's going to come to Australia, live here, work here and potentially become a citizen here?
Look, I think Labor's position on this was the previous university level was far too high. It knocked out great Australians that we want contributing to our society, that contribute as working and tax-paying citizens and contribute to our communities. I think, look, a sensible approach here is that a conversation level language is much more appropriate, and Labor said as much. Is
that what's going to happen here, Senator Hume? I mean, what is the level of English required?
Well, that's a good question, and that's a discussion that is yet to be had. And I think Alan Tudge made that very clear, that this is something he wants to engage with stakeholders, find out what the appropriate English level is, but set an Australian standard. But the most important difference is from the previous policy is when we were talking about the IELTS Level 6 test, that was for citizenship. This is for permanent migration. Correct. So it applies not just to those skilled migrants, but it also applies to their families, it applies to spouses. I think actually this is really important. It's about social cohesion and preventing social fragmentation and making sure that everybody that comes to the country can engage fully in all the benefits that we can offer.
Because, David, this is the thing where I mean, we know under the family reunion scheme, this is where a lot of those social cohesion problems actually kick in, where the young professional member of the family who ends up being here slowly but surely may be able to bring out, the mum, the dad, the brother, sister, who don't possess the same skills. It's just the basic way for everything to work. You've got to be able to talk to government officials, to talk to businesses, to procure things. It's simple.
Yeah, what pisses Australians off is when people come to our country to enjoy the benefits that we have, and then hope that they're going to maintain a little bit of their own country and not really become part of Australia. They're still in their old country, just benefiting from the fact that no one's shooting at them, or they've got, they get welfare or something. So learning English is fundamental to not creating those little enclaves. Communicating with your fellow Australians. I'm a little bit with Jane on this, though, that citizenship is probably more important. My view is that actually we should go down the path of the Swiss, which you have to live there for 10 or 12 years. You have to integrate. You have to be accepted as having adopted Swiss values. Obviously, speak the language.
Didn't they knock back a vegan? Didn't they say no vegans?
Yes. They did. They did. They knocked back a vegan. Yeah, that's right. I'd hope we'd do that here.
You're all in on the Swiss model. You're all in on the Swiss model. Problem? What do you think?
Yeah. Look, I think it's very important, and I think Ben Fordham used some interesting figures earlier, that of migrants who come here who do speak English, 80% of them get a job. That's right. Of those who come here and don't speak English, 20% get a job.
Yes. And it's worse for women.
And
worse
women,
for women.
it's 70%,
Absolutely
17%. So I think they're very telling figures, and it's very important to understand occupational health and safety. If you've got someone who comes in with a lower level of education, is going to work perhaps in industry, they're going to have to be very cognizant of instructions about machinery, instructions about safety issues. And if you can't read English, you can't do it. Yeah. And I mean, that used to be a real problem, actually, with workers' compensation claims.
Yeah. All right, we'll leave it there. A shout out, by the way, to Benny, who did a great job filling in for Andrew Bolt. The great man, well, both of them are. Andrew is back on Monday, 7 o'clock here on Sky News Live. But great to have Ben as part of the family, and we look forward to seeing him again very soon here on the TV.